Check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall, so I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo will be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and to apply. Congratulations. Well, with that, we'll move on to our next contestant. Thank you, judges, for your wonderful feedback. And we will have our next contestant, whose name is Xiao-Ru Lin, playing the piano, the Liszt Piano Concerto No. 2 in A major. I think he's playing the whole piece. I'm really looking forward to it.
Let's inform. This is a piece of multiple movements which go in the toccata for the audience. If you don't know this piece very well, expect a lot of character changes without the stops and breaks. We go from adagio sostenuto assai to allegro agitato assai, allegro moderato, allegro deciso, and then marziali un poco meno allegro. Oh, I'm speaking Italian, am I not?
Yeah, you are. You're basically... I didn't know you had that in you. Thank you. And of course, ending with allegro animato. Okay, so with that, your stage is yours. Enjoy.
Welcome.
Bravo. Wow, so that's so good to hear you. And you play the whole concerto. I guess it's hard to find a place to stop. Let's start with Jamie.
I really enjoyed that performance. It was fabulous. And when you started out with the adagio, the opening adagio was so beautiful. I thought there's no way he's going to be able to top that through this whole piece, but you did. And I just and I hear so many people playing technical pieces with such moving notes, fast moving forte notes, and I know that's impressive as well. But what's more impressive for me is someone that can play an adagio so beautifully and so expressive and so musically, which you really accomplished. So congratulations on that. And getting more to this piece. Obviously this piece is very physically demanding. So I'm a brass player, and one of our biggest challenges is strength and endurance, and having the endurance to play an entire piece. So my question to you is, this piece is so demanding. Were you fatigued at all towards the end?
No. I could run this piece 3 times a day.
Oh, wow. That's quite an endurance.
That was my next question. What if you had to play it again right now?
I can do it, but
yes, okay.
My accompanist need a little bit time to train.
Okay, congratulations. The ending, the climax at the end was fabulous. Thank you.
Bravo. Thank you, Jamie. Nicole?
Hi, yes, bravo. Wonderful, just wonderful to listen to you play and to hear this piece. And I agree with Jamie. I mean, it's Liszt. It's going to be technically demanding. It's going to be, if you can even attempt it, it's going to be impressive, right? But I think what I really enjoyed about your performance was it felt like it unfolded. It felt like it had like an overstory. And I think that's, at least for me as a listener, that's just such an important thing. It wasn't a bunch of impressive technical things, which it was, but it was also this overstory, like this novel unfolding, and then all these characters and chapters and wonderful little things within. So I really can't say enough about that and how enjoyable it was. I'm curious how you do infuse that into your playing. I'm impressed that you could do it 3 times a day. That's amazing. But what is your preparation like within those movements, and how you put something so massive together?
It's a lot of things about. First of all, I read, Alan Walker's biography of Liszt, one of the biography of Liszt, and I kind of listened to all his symphonic poem, and also read. I think there is a pianist, student, a pupil of Liszt. It's called Arthur Finehan. He also write a lot of things about how Liszt would want his student to play his own compositions. And I remember an excerpt that Liszt once tells students that he didn't care how fast his student can play the octaves, but he wanted the story. So that for me, that it has to come before I practice. I learn any notes of Liszt, and also I start from reading the score. I read the score several times and try to, see how he's different from his contemporaries, how he's different from Brahms. And what I was not surprised, I kind of found some of his music, especially in this piece, it actually sounds like some early 20th century American film music. So, and I observed that the same motive of the second theme, da-dum, da-dum, was in D minor. It's kind of should have some wild sound, but later it becomes elegant. It goes to D flat major. So later I kind of try to think, is there any story that fits this kind of motivic changing from D minor to D flat major. And later I come up with an idea like it's, Beauty and Beast. The Beast eventually turns out to be a prince, right? And he's noble, and all those, brilliant, beautiful, delicate sound is kind of maybe just his jewelries. And also we have the beauty, beauty. So like we have the beauty adagio, and it's just everywhere in a piece. Yeah.
It's nice to hear you're so
Thank you.
thoughtful behind all that. That's very wonderful. Okay, thank you. We also have Dikran. Thank you.
Yeah. This opening is like, that's obviously where Wagner gets Tristan, the orchestra part should set you up with a more horizontal movement going ahead. Very improvisatory. The clarinet and all that and the other instruments that take over that solo should move that solo down the keyboard or down the octaves before you come in to set you up for, I think the triplets should move more. Not brilliant or anything, but like a flurry, something that moves rather than this verticality. And these, the roll chords really need to be rolled, not like one at a time. I think that would really improve the beginning. And then I think once you get to it's not, it doesn't growl enough. I don't feel it's, it's a little reserved, I would say. And then when you get into that florid passage work, that really has to move. I don't mean to show off or anything, but if you listen to the harmonies in the bass or in the left hand, he's really moving towards certain notes. And unfortunately, you've got to move the right hand according to what that harmony dictates. And in my opinion, harmony dictates policy in all music. So it's not it's what I mean? It's florid work and it's bridge material. You need to get to what really is happening, which is the B flat major, when you arrive and cascade down with the double notes. That's the arrival point. And otherwise it makes for a very long Liszt A major, I mean, not that I want to shorten the piece, but we have to get on with it because of what Liszt has written, not because it's to enjoy these musical moments, because the moments are made up of little pit stops that have to go to the main arrival point, which is the B flat major. And then once you cascade down there, you really have to become a savage. I mean, yeah, I'm sorry, there's no, and then this bomb, brum, 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 I mean, we have to hear those notes. They're melodic. Those are not chordal passages. The harmony is there, D minor, da-dum, da-dum, and then goes to G major and E flat and all that, all those transitions. And that's another thing, is you've got to decide when to leave the harmony and when to go into a harmony. You can't just stay there forever. It's got to move. For example, that passage da yada da dum da dum in G major, right? Not dee da da dum da dum. That's trying to make something melodic that is again on its way somewhere. Okay. I mean, how do we know those are triplets at the end if everything sounds the same? You see what I mean? So I think you need to differentiate your note values there, because Liszt did, and he really wants it that way. It's pretty clear. You can't just play vertical octaves. They have to sound melodic and they have to go with the harmony. And then let's see. Now there's so many things. I think that you have a basic grasp of the piece, but it needs some, needs some work. That's all. And some of the slower passages, the ruminative passages, are too ruminative. They have to, again, the second movement, for example, these melody notes, they don't make sense if everything's because everything becomes a vertical, like a skyscraper. I want to see the horizon once in a while. Like, yeah. And there are a lot of brilliant passages in this piece that need to be brilliant just, that's the only word for it. Like the passage after the big climax with the chords and everything, where you've got the thirds and this big expansive left hand. It sounds like pointillistic music if we're just hearing every note vertically. Again, it has to move. It has to be melodic, not, choppy. So your movements are not tied together either. They have to be seamless. So you've got 4 movements. They've got to sound like one. It's really a 1-movement concerto. And it just can't be an eternity. I find that this is a phenomenal piece. And it has to be played with a great understanding of those harmonies. You can't just play everything kind of like the same. Okay. The coda, is similar. It has to move. I would just say the whole concerto has to move in general, but it's not the kind of movement that you're thinking. It's even in the opening triplets, certain notes have to be held back and certain notes have to go forward in that A major harmony. So it's a complicated A major harmony, the way he wrote it. It's not just A major, So, does any of that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be romantic, but it has to have structure, okay? So you can't just do what, I find that a lot of artists just do what they want to do. Well, it's like a Christian. The Christian should do what's necessary, not what they want to do, okay? That you don't have to be a believer to follow this. In other words, the true Christian should do what's necessary. The true musician needs to do what the music calls for, not what they feel it calls for. And there are some rules. I hate to say it, but nothing is that up to your whimsical nature. There are just things that have to happen in music. I mean, can you imagine playing the Earl King? I mean, that has a how would a singer sing it? Sings like Gabor said this afternoon. Sing it. Bolette used to say that all the time. Sing it. Every time you play for him, he's saying, "Sing it." Well, you can't sing something if it's too vertical. Singers, you have to know how a melody might be born on a singer's breath. Okay? They can't sing that way, or they'll choke. Okay? This is a very special concerto. It's not like the E flat, although the E flat's similar. It's not really. They're both 4-movement works, okay, in one. That's about it. but they're very different pieces. This is a brilliant piece, but it's a deeper piece than the E flat. And some of the filigree's got to move, you know. After all, he's going after that top note. He's not going after dee da 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 dee da 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 da. It's sort of like Rachmaninoff. Have you ever noticed how bad Rachmaninoff sounds slow? I mean, that's why he wrote all those notes, because it's like Mozart, it's passing tones, whereas Beethoven was more direct. C minor, G major, E flat, you know, he just goes to it. Boom. He's the master of subito, right? But Mozart's much more subtle and his counterpoint's better. That's just the way it is, you know. And that's what's going on here is things have to make sense, you know. You can't just do whatever you want. And all the studying in the world and reading books, yeah, I like Walker's trilogy too. It's phenomenal, but it's not the Liszt A major. It's about Liszt. So, you know, I think you can really do it if you really put your mind to it and start thinking harmonically and not vertically. And those two aren't related. So thinking vertically is definitely not thinking harmonically, because you think, oh yeah, all those harmonies have to line up, but they have to move in a progression. That's why there's harmonic impetus. That's why there's harmonic tension. That's why there's harmonic rhythm, when to leave a harmony and when to not stay in that harmony and revel in it, you know, that kind of thing. It's, you know. Okay, that's about it. But anyway, congratulations.
Thank you, Dikran.
Congratulations. Yeah.
The wonderful thing about having a judge give you feedback right after you play is they're not going to forget very much. And I think this is a wonderful thing. So thank you, Dikran, for this. I've learned a lot just hearing you talk about the Liszt Concerto No. 2. And Xiao-Ru, I hope you enjoyed not only your performance, but also this feedback you get right away. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, it's a very personal thing also, you know. I mean,
Liszt Concerto has to be a personal thing to every pianist, because you have to put your entire person into it to play.
Yeah, except that I think there are rules that cannot be broken. Okay? I mean,
Well,
you know.
If I may add, Dikran, there
Yes,
are some
Dikran.
rules which can also be enjoyed once you get on with them.
True. Well, the thing is, you can break the rules once you obey them.
If you want to, but some of them, if you obey them, it's like a discovery. Wow, that actually
but it's not.
is
It's not.
good.
It's not what I'm saying though. Like you know, if Mozart writes a staccato over a note and you play it like a, you know, like a
Pluck.
woodpecker. Yeah, I mean, come on. There, you know, it depends on the tempo and the texture. It could be a portamento. It could be a much longer note than you really think, and you have no idea what's going on in Mozart's head. He writes these directives that I talked about yesterday, and I mean, you know, I think Bach had it right. Leave it alone. You know, don't put any crap in there. Just give us the notes, and then, you know, we'll do it. A good artist is going to do it. These directives, molto appassionata. What's that? I mean, what's molto appassionato to you may not be to the next person. Now that's interpretive. You see.
I have one comment. Just you know, I'm only a brass player, so you know, rules. When I hear Liszt, I'm taken to a different place, and so everything goes out the window, rules or anything like that. So I think for this performance, I was really captivated and taken to another place. So I didn't think about any of that technical stuff.
No, it's not technical. It's musical. If you have a conception of a piece, everything falls into place. The fingers, everything. It's not technical.
I have
it's like that
explanation. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So when you talk about this da 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 da, so it's a cadenza right after a slow movement.
You mean the filigree? Yeah, right.
So previously we have 16 notes da 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 on the right hand. So it shouldn't be way too fast. It has to be have a relative slightly faster instead of go all the way run crazy and just be.
No, but it's not
because that's the rule.
It's not crazy. It's not crazy. This is bridge material.
No.
This is you got to get on with it.
If you want to be faster, he probably would put 30-second notes or sextet there instead of putting same 16 notes there.
No. It's beauty. I'm talking about making it beautiful. I'm not talking about going super fast.
And many places Liszt put un poco animato himself or un poco piumoso. So I think before that, we have to not push too much or being too free.
Okay.
Those are places that we want to follow his direction.
Yeah. Except, it's good to hear someone else pontificate, shall we say, about something, because it's like Lincoln. He didn't surround himself in his cabinet with a bunch of Republicans. He had a bunch of Democrats, okay, because he wanted everybody's opinion, and then he formulated his own after a great deal of deliberation. There isn't one way to do it. I'm not saying it has to be a certain way. I'm just telling you what I think. That's all. It's just that simple. I think this piece can profit from more horizontal movement than lining up the notes. And that's the way it'll sound if you use that approach that you talked about throughout the whole piece, almost universally. There was nothing that would, in my opinion, that had abandon. Liszt is, if nothing else, he's all about abandon. He's a free spirit. Many people misunderstand Liszt, in my opinion, and they give him a bad rap. He's one of the greatest. And he was generous, and he brought back the Hammerklavier, and he promoted Chopin. And what did Brahms do? He fell asleep during his B minor sonata when he played it. He was nice enough to play it for him. So, I think Brahms is the greatest composer alive that ever lived. So I'm not knocking Brahms, but I don't think that's very respectful, because the B minor sonata is one of the monuments of music. It's the B minor sonata. It's like,
well, Xiao-Ru, I hope you really enjoyed this ability to be able to interact with the judge, and this whole ability for us to have a conversation after a performance of the whole entire concerto. And I want to thank you. I want to thank the judges. I want to thank Dipran especially for sharing so much of your insight. I'm sure you've played a lot of music by Liszt, and so this is very important to you. So thank you.
It was the last piece I ever played in public.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Wow.
This concerto. Yeah, I love this concerto very much. But
and
that
means a lot to you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. It's like a Bible, like the Brahms D minor and the Chopin E minor, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, though. Mm-hmm. But it's okay. That's okay. I think there are many ways to explain ourselves. Shall we say that?
Of course.
Yeah.
And this is wonderful that your performance today brought out this really vibrant discussion. See what happens when you really
brings the animal out.
Exactly. You get a lot of musicians who feel passionate about what you feel passionate about. This is wonderful. Thank you for performing a Liszt on this program. And I want to give another shout out to your accompanist.
Right. Thank you. Well, we're going to move on to our next little segment now. Check this out. I know you have always dreamed of performing in Carnegie Hall. So I think this 2023 to 2024 season at Sound Espressivo will be perfect for you. As a platform, we host live online auditions so you can share your music with the entire world. Then we send you to incredible in-person venues like Carnegie Hall so you can perform solo, as a duo, as an ensemble, and with orchestra. This year we have a total of 4 gala events at Carnegie Hall, as well as 4 different opportunities to perform with orchestras in the US, in the Czech Republic, and even in Egypt. We want to help you fulfill your musical dreams. Go to soundespressivocompetition.com to check out our season and join.